This is a Audacity interface. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to record a little clip on my phone and then put it on my computer. And then we'll look at what a waveform looks like. And then we'll just talk about a couple basic tools for editing and the interface. So I'm going to open up my Finder. And actually, before I do anything else, I do want to create a new folder for my audio project. So I'm going to call this audio portrait of a place. And then now, obviously this won't be in the recording, but I'm just going to use the voice memos app on my phone. I have an iPhone, so there's probably an equivalent thing on Android. And I'll just record a little intro. I'll pretend I'm making like a podcast about BMCC, and I'll just record like 3 seconds of audio. So I'll start now. Welcome to my podcast thing about BMCC. I'm just recording some test audio, and we'll take a look at it in Audacity in a second. Okay, so I've recorded a little recording. It's on my computer. The way I'm going to get it on here, because I'm next to my computer and we're on Wi-Fi, is I'm going to airdrop it. You guys have probably airdropped before. It's the easiest thing to do. I don't have to go into my email. I don't have to do other stuff. If you want to go over how to do that later, we can do it. If you have an Android device, you won't be able to do that here, but there's other ways that you can get it on there. You can also use our Discord. That's a good way to just like put a file on the internet and be able to quickly get it somewhere else. So, I assume that you guys kind of know how to do that stuff, but if you don't, obviously we can go over it. So what I'm doing now, there's a menu on my phone. I'm just hitting share, and it brings up the little share menu, and one of the icons is airdrop, and hopefully I have to go on the Wi-Fi here. Okay, let's see if this works. So I'm going to turn on the Wi-Fi. I should have done this before. I'll probably use Discord if this doesn't start soon. Okay, yeah, let's just use Discord. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to click on my Discord app on my phone, and I'm going to share in. There's an option to share in, so I'm going to do my server channel, which is Owen Roberts at BMCC, and I'm going to do MMP 100 as the channel. And I'm going to just click post. And so now if I open up Discord, and feel free to do this online, obviously or on our Discord, if you don't want to post it publicly, you could just send it to me, or you could post it and download it and delete it, whatever works. But there's a lot of different ways to do this. Obviously, you can use your email, you can use Google Drive or Dropbox. So once Discord gets started, so if I go to the MMP 100 channel, so you can see the audio that I just recorded there. The default for the voice memo app is that it just names it after where you are. And so you can see that's why it says Borough Manhattan Community College. I didn't write that. It's just it knows where I am. And one thing that's a little annoying is that it's an M4A. Depending on what app you have, that may be a different file type. So make sure you know what file type it is. One thing that we'll see, and this is something that I want to go over, is that this isn't actually going to work in Audacity. So we're going to have to convert it. But that's really easy to do on the internet these days. So anyway, there's a download button here. We can also see how big it is. It's pretty small. It's 100 KB because it's only 12 seconds. If you record for 3 minutes, it's going to be like 20 megabytes or something like that. So this is going to be fast. Your file might be a little bit bigger. But I'm just going to click download, and now we can see it's downloaded to my downloads folder. So then I'll go to my downloads folder. I'm going to open a new window. So I just hit Command N. I'm going to go to downloads. There's my audio. I could probably preview it on the computer if I just hit space. Okay, so we hear me talking, so that's good. So I want to make sure to have this original audio. So before I do anything with it, I'm going to click on my audio portrait of a place, and I'm going to drag this in here. So I know where that is, and so now I can get rid of this thing. So now, if I want to put something in Audacity, what I'm going to do, I'll go back to my Audacity program. I can drag and drop just like in Photoshop. So I can open the Finder next to Audacity, and I can drag this on here. Oh, and it looks like it actually is on there. So maybe there's a newer Audacity that deals with this fine. So yeah, I just dragged and dropped. So that looks like it's actually going to work. The other way I can do it is I can go to File, and I can go to Import Audio, and then find that file on my computer, and I'll click Open. And there we see that waveform that we talked about. And it looks like it's actually going to work. So it looks like Audacity has added support for that file format, which is nice. There's my voice, which is annoying. It's going to be annoying when you hear your voice for the first time. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's still annoying to hear a recording of my voice. So just get ready for that. It doesn't mean that your voice sounds weird. It's just it sounds different in a recording than what you're used to hearing. Anyway, let's go over the interface a little bit, and then we'll stop there. So with the Audacity interface, it is very simplified. There's not like a whole lot of options, but there is a decent amount of stuff you can do. Most of the stuff we're going to do is basically visible right as soon as you open the program. Some stuff that we may do, you may find in like the effect dropdown, maybe in like the edit dropdown, but most of the stuff that we'll do, we can just do right here, maybe in tracks, things like that. And we'll go over, right now we're just going to look at editing one piece of audio. In the next block, we'll go over layering audio on top of it. So these buttons at the top here are the basic playback buttons. So the green play does what it sounds like, it plays the audio. These buttons rewind and fast forward. So when I click this, you can see this little line goes here, and if I play, it's at the beginning. If I do that, this little line is over here, and if I play, it does nothing because I'm at the end. There's a record button because you can actually record directly onto the computer with the computer mic, and if you have like an external mic or something like that that's plugged in, you can find that under this audio setup menu. So when you click on audio setup menu, the recording device you can see is any device that's available to record. If you have like a USB microphone, something like that, you'll see that come up on here. You can see it has built-in microphone selected because there's a microphone on the computer. Playback device is what it's going to play out of. This says built-in output, but the built-in output on the computer is actually routed through the speakers in the classroom, which is why we hear the sound coming through the speakers up there. If I clicked extra on HDMI, that's the projector, and so it would come out of the projector. So that's the audio setup. This button will set a loop section if I want to work on one bit of audio. So if I toggle this on, I can move this section around, and maybe I just want to work on one bit of audio. So when I play, maybe I have to move over here first. This is a good piece of audio to loop, but when I play, it'll just play that one section, and I can move that around by moving these two parts. And then there's a pause. I don't really use pause much, but you can pause. One thing to be aware of is that when you're playing the audio, sometimes it's kind of confusing. If you're playing the audio, you can't really do anything else. You kind of have to stop the audio before you can edit, which kind of makes sense. If I was playing the audio and also like moving things around or removing things, the computer would have a hard time being able to play the audio and know what's happening. So if I'm playing, I can't really make cuts or edits. I have to stop and then go back and make a cut or an edit. Okay, a couple more things in the interface. These four buttons are our main tools. We'll look at the other ones later, but the main thing that we're typically going to be on is just called the selection tool. This basically means that I can select sections of my audio, and this will make a section that'll play back. So if I select this area, I can just play back that area. So that's the main thing it does. If I drag like that, and if I just click, I'm just going to move this around to different places. These do other things. We'll go over those later. This one is like the everything tool that basically is trying to guess which one you want, which you have to be a real pro to use that effectively. I'm going to avoid doing that. Over here are some visualization tools. If I zoom in, I'll see more and more up close details of my waveform. And if I zoom out, I'll see more general details. This button is going to fit a selection. So if I select a certain area and then click this button here, it's going to fit that to the main window. This button is going to fit all of my audio into the window. Those are both really useful. I use those a lot. I don't use this one that much. I guess this is toggling. Oh, it toggles between two zoom states. So that's actually pretty useful because if I do something like this, then I can toggle back and forth between those states. I don't really use that one a ton, but that's okay. Then we have undo and redo. If you make an edit and you want to undo it, you can click that, but most of the time I'll hit Command Z. So I'll probably do that instead. These guys I forget. I don't use these. Oh, this is actually, so if I silence, oh, they must have moved that on here because I used to have to go up here to do that. But if I want to just silence a section of audio, I can click this. That's really nice because if I cut the audio, it'll move the other pieces together, which we'll go over in a second. But this is actually really useful if you want to keep that space but get rid of the audio there. So I'll hit Command Z to undo that. This says trim audio. Ooh, that's a new button actually. I haven't seen that button before. So if I know I only want this bit of audio, I can hit that and it'll just give me that, and that's pretty nice. Okay, so those are those buttons. Over here we have our playback meters. This is for the microphone, so if I'm recording, you'll see the loudness here, and if I'm playing back, you'll see the loudness here. And this is really useful. It's basically color coded, so it's actually super easy to use. It gets very complicated, but the most basic approach is really easy to use. So I'll just select an area here and play it. And the basic rule is if you're green, that's good. Let's loop this. Green means good. Yellow means almost not good, but okay. Red means too loud. And what too loud means is that the audio that's being played back is distorted. It's going to sound like distorted when we're listening back to it. Sorry, that's annoying. But what I can do is take this little meter and just move it down. That's for the entire sound. So that's when we add more tracks later. That's for all of the tracks together. You also have a meter on the track itself. This is called the gain. So I can make it louder or quieter by dragging this. You probably won't need to do this all that much, but if something's really quiet, you can bring it up. I don't really recommend doing that, but it's possible. The main thing you'll want to do is if something's too loud, like some background music or background sound, you can bring it down that way. So this one does the whole track, all of the audio together, and then the track itself has its own stuff. And there's some options here. We're not going to go over that right now. Okay. So just a couple quick things with the track, and then I'll let you guys get started. So on the track itself, you can kill the whole track by clicking on the X here. Down here, there's more options. You can change some stuff here. We'll go over this in more detail later. But you can also change the color of the sound if you want to, specify different sounds. So we have some basic colors that we can cycle through, but they'll default to this blue. There's other views here. Like if I look at this shows me the frequencies rather than the amplitude. So that could be useful. We might talk about that more later. And then I can see them both at the same time. But I'm just going to stick with waveform for now. Oops. Okay, there we go. And then the format I can change. This is how much data is saved in each sample. So 32 is a lot. For our Audacity file, that's okay if it's really large because it's not what we're going to send to people. We're just using it to edit. So I'm fine with this. The rate is the sample rate. If I set that lower or higher, it's going to distort the audio. So I usually don't want to do that. 4800 is like good quality audio. That's like podcast level audio. 441 is the default for like radio and stuff that we want to be like a little smaller. And then 96 is the default for like film, where we want a higher quality of audio in a movie theater where it's louder and there's more sounds involved. Those are a few basic defaults, but we'll usually stick right here with 48. There's some other stuff down here. We're going to ignore that for now. Let's go over some basic editing that we can do. So with our selection tool, some basic things I may want to do are just editing out parts. So this beginning part, I don't need this like basically noise. So what I can do is I'll just select this section and I just hit delete on the keyboard and it's gone. But one thing to know with Audacity is that's like gone. I can undo right now, but if I do a bunch of stuff and edits and things like that, it doesn't have as like robust a history as Photoshop. So I really want to be careful with the edits that I make. I can always go back to my original audio file and throw it back in here and redo everything. But I do want to be pretty careful when I'm editing. So I'm going to cut this part. Oh, whoops. I undid my other color change. So I'll just redo that. Command-Shift-Z does redo instead of undo. So I'm going to delete that part, and now I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, obviously I want to cut the that I did at the beginning. So I'll just select that and hit delete. Okay, so let's do another little quick edit. So I kind of paused right here before I said podcast. So this would be a good place. I might not want to take all of this out. I could do like a silence, and then I could take like a little bit out. And if I do a cut here, what happens is now, what I want to do, if I select here and I do Command X, oh no, wait, maybe it's Command. Let me look it up. So if I go to Edit and oh, it's I actually. That's new to me, but anyway, so if we want to do a split here, and actually what I want to do is get rid of that audio, but let's imagine I want a longer pause. Maybe I want to emphasize how goofy that was. If I hover over the title of this audio here, I can drag this over. Okay, so now let's listen to that. There's going to be an even longer pause. Okay, so if I want to make myself sound like I don't know what I'm doing, I could do that. Obviously, if I want to make it cleaner, I can kind of bring this in. So I can put the mouse here and I can make it a little smaller. And I can move this here. Okay, so those are kind of my basic tools. I can select and hit Command X or delete to get rid of stuff. I can hit Command I or split, and then I can move stuff around. And then I can kind of go through and edit all the different parts of my podcast. We'll go over a couple more editing techniques and layering techniques in the later part of class, but I think this is enough for you guys to get started. If you want to try recording something on your phone or recording directly into the computer, you can give that a try. It may be a little chaotic, but we don't need perfect audio right now. We just need something to kind of play with. And later in class, we'll go over getting some more audio and layering it together. So I'm going to stop this recording here.